Tonight's episode of TWITS is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Recording, everyone's recording. Start this thing at 7:46. Lead in, bam. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Week 7 edition of TWITS. Joining us once again from his palatial estate with his 3 luxury sleds in the driveway, just outside of Brownwood proper, Mr. Mike Paddock. How are you, sir?
Howdy, doing fine. Getting ready for Packer Viking week.
Yes, I see you've got the accoutrement behind you. Purple Pride. Go Pack, go. Yeah, it's always a fun week up here. I think the Vikings faithful are being tested a little bit this year with the 1-5 start and starting a rookie quarterback, Mike, at the Metrodome. Christian Ponder.
It's been done before.
Has been done before. So we'll see how that goes. Always an interesting game. It is lopsided as it would seem on paper. Packer fans never take anything for granted inside the dome. So.
Oh, I'm sure Jared Allen will be lassoing some calves.
Oh, yes. Steers and queers better watch out. Mike, let's take a look here at the news and notes for Week 7. Nothing earth-shattering going on this week. No major changes to the site or anything. We went over the fact that there's a history button out on the starting lineup section now. Mentioned that last week. And there's also, I don't know if everyone knows this or not, but if you click on your starting lineup, any one of the names, they'll give you a Google News on your player for the last 7 days.
That's actually on the roster, I believe, not on the starting lineup, correct?
It's on, well, whatever you call the front page where you set your starting lineup. Yeah, that particular section. So just wanted to mention that, make sure everyone knew about it. Mike, let's get right into the brass tacks here. Let's get into a little segment we like to call the Weekly Rewind. Let's take a look at Week 6, Mike. We had the first ever meeting between Fred and Greg, and Fred continues his role. Gets a 25-point victory over Greg. Aaron Rodgers, 15 points, contributes to a 66-41 win. Mickey, we have some beer changing hands. Mickey, 74 at 40. That's a 12-pack by my Rhinelander math there. Matt Bradshaw, 3 touchdowns, 24 points, leading the way in that one for Mickey. Jeff, the commish, takes out Tim, 57-43. Battle of the RBs there. Turner with 18, Mendenhall with 13. Mike takes out the league points leader, Tom, 69. 6-9 combo in effect. 6-9-4-9. Billy Cundiff, 17 points to lead the way for Team Paddock. LaShawn McCoy, surprisingly not Calvin Johnson this week, leading the way for Team Tom.
Let me thank everyone for the lack of confidence, because it allowed me to catch up in the old confidence pool. Thank you.
Little dig at the softball, I like it. And then last but probably least here, Thad, 46, Wayne, 44. Barn burner in that one. Both Thad and Wayne had some Monday night players going, and Thad was able to hold on for a 2-point victory. Fred Jackson, your arguably fantasy MVP so far this year, leading the way with 14 points for Mr. Palmer.
Interesting thing to note is that I know Thad calls this a crapshoot. Thad's points for are the lowest in his, almost lowest in the entire division, and he's on top of that division at 5-1.
Mm-hmm.
My points for are leading my division. I'm at the bottom of that division at 2-4.
You call that the Sando effect, Mike. The Sando effect. Mike, let's take a look at a little segment we like to call On Tap.
Yes, Jeff, coming up on tap, we have a battle of 2 4-2 teams. Wayne's Bagos going against Tom's Brixton Sky. Wayne coming in with 359 points to Tom's 416, still leading the way in the league, I believe. The all-time points due points to Tom at 854 to Wayne's 853. That's tight.
Tight.
Wayne leads the all-time series though 14 to 10, so he got 4 extra wins and 1 point less. And he won.
It's a crapshoot, not a chess match, Mike.
Exactly. He won the last 6 to get to that point. Then we have Fred. Oh, look at that, Fred going up against the commish. There's gonna be some bad blood here.
Mm-hmm.
Fred coming in at 3-3. I believe he's won 3 in a row to get there. 329 points to your 4-2 and 339 points. So that's fairly close.
Yep.
We'll see where the record starts out. Mickey's Crazy Critters at 3-3 and 356 points against Greg's 3-3, but only 311 points this year. He does lead that all-time points 1059 to 995, however, and the all-time series 16 to 14, winning all of the last 8 matchups to get there.
Wow.
And the surprising Thad Ixnay Uje at 5-1 with 313 points going up against Evan, the Chilean Miners. Evan, you better pump some oxygen down to those miners because you're sitting there at 1-5 with only 244 points. Thad leads that all-time series by about 42 points at 1049 to 1007. And the all-time series 19 to 12, winning the last 3 to get to that. So he's been winning that for quite some time.
Yep.
And we're going to round it out with the 2 lowly teams on the totem pole here. Cranky Pants has a reason to be cranky at 1-5 with 310 points this year. Going against the Hot Tub Time Machines, yours truly. Sitting at 2-4 with 366 points. I do lead that all-time series by 30 points at 798 to 768. And the series 13 to 10, winning the last 5 to get to that point. And that is your weekly on tap.
Excellent, excellent. Mike, let's take a look at, what do we call this segment? I believe it's, was it Record Setters?
Yes.
Record Setters, bam. Only had 1 record set this week, Mike. That was a combined SFFL effort, 55 defensive point score this week. That was good enough for 7th place all time, and that was the only record set once again outside of the kind of Mickey 74 point outburst. There wasn't a lot of high scoring action going on. So
those bye weeks are killing us.
Yeah, they don't help. That's for sure. Mike, let's take a look at the premium password for week 7 this current week. As we mentioned at the last TWITS, password is Bach. And for week 8, so starting next Tuesday, the password is going to be Treat. You may think it's something to do with Trick or Treat, but it's actually my personal tribute to Treat Williams. Rest his soul.
He's still alive.
I know. Premium password tonight brought to you by Coors Light on the north end of things, Mike. We were having all those, specialty beers up here, and our sponsor got wind of it and was not very happy, so I had to resort back to the Coors Light tonight.
I'm enjoying a beverage from Rar & Sons out of Fort Worth, Texas. This is the Gravel Road German Alt Beer. I'm on a little bit of an alt beer kick for the last couple weeks here. I had the old number 13 alt beer out of Lagunitas. I highly recommend that. And if you want something else that's a little bit easier to get a hold of in a 6-pack, Rar & Sons.
Control Alt Delete. Excellent. Mike, let's go to everyone's tertiary favorite segment, a little segment you and I call Chalk Talk. This is a banner year for Chalk Talk, Mike. We moved to 5-0 last week. Commish gave everyone LSU minus 16 over Tennessee, and I believe if you go back and play the tape, Mike, I told you they were going to win that game by 30. They won it by 31, 38-7, easily covering the 16 and moving the Commish to 5-0. So once again, no excuses for not having your league fee next year. This week, Mike, we're going to go venture into Big Ten country. Yours truly and co-SFFL member Tim Boncher will be at the Nebraska, basically coronation at TCF Bank Stadium. They'll be crowned champions by about 10 minutes into that game. But a little further south, Mike, we've got two teams that don't like each other. We got the Illinois Fighting Illini taking on a team near and dear to your heart, the Purdue Boilermakers.
Purdue.
Illinois took a bit of a loss last week at home, Mike, but look for them to get back on track in a hurry. Nate Steeplechase Shieldhouse and A.J. Jenkins, the combo, will get things rolling against Purdue. They're only laying 4.5, Mike, and I have no idea why. Illinois wins that game by 2 touchdowns and moves the commish to 6-0 in Chalk Talk. That's how that's going to work out.
Jump on that line early before they figure out they made a mistake.
That is correct. Mike, let's go to the dog of the week. Everyone's favorite segment. Mike, last week you got down and dirty there. You're using every available tool at your disposal. Taking the Buffalo Bills plus 3.5 in a 3-point loss to the Giants to move you to 4-1 on the year. Needed all the help you could get on that one, but in Vegas it doesn't matter. That's money in the bank. So what do you have for us this week?
That's a tough week if you're looking at the lines. They're really looking difficult to pick, but I am going to stick in the state of Texas and go with your Houston Texans, who are getting 3 at Tennessee. I look for Arian Foster to make a little bit of a comeback in the running game, and even though they don't have the big dog Andre Johnson, who is also on my team with my #1 pick, thank you very much, I think that they have enough chemistry to keep it close enough and actually probably win that game. So take Houston and the points.
Mike, let's look quickly at the game of the week. Last week, I had Philadelphia to move the commission's record to 5-0. Mike, you got stopped out a little bit there on Washington. The Rex train definitely came off the tracks last week. 3-2 on the year.
That's the second time I did that.
Yep. Let's go across the pond, Mike. This week, Chicago and Tampa Bay are going to be at Wembley Stadium, battling one another. Who do you like in that one?
Well, I think that Mike Martz may have finally figured out how to run that offense a little bit better instead of letting Cutler stand back there and get nailed all the time. So I'm looking at Chicago here. It's about even on the line. It's 1.5. Chicago's favored by. So I don't know, Tampa, they like their comebacks, but I think that Chicago's defense is good enough to hold them down, and I don't think Tampa can necessarily stop all of the weapons that Chicago has. So looking for the Bears.
Not so fast, my friend. I like the Buccaneers in this one, and I'll tell you why. Well, plus I got to give you a chance to catch up. No, I think the Buccaneers, they've been struggling. Actually, I was watching that team pretty closely even since their first preseason game, and they've been kind of struggling offensively. I mean, literally, they've been kind of a mess. And I think last week against New Orleans, they kind of got some stuff figured out. I think Ernest Graham's filling in just fine for LeGarrette Blount, who's much like Andre Johnson, not able to play this weekend, Mike. So, Bears did a lot of max protect against the Vikes last week, and Cutler had all day to throw. And I don't think he's going to be able to do that against the Buccaneers. I think Cutler throws multiple interceptions, and I think Tampa, in a tight one, over in jolly old England there. So we shall see. That's a big game. That's a swing game, Mike. It's either going to be a 1-game lead for me or I'm going to be up 3.
Well, it's the game of the week does not seem to be my forte.
Matt. Yeah, well, I'm doing better than I should be in that. So, well, and as we all know, the toughest lead to protect in the game of the week standings is a 3-game lead. So I almost want to lose this one. So. All right, Mike, on that note, we will bid everyone a good evening. We will, like I said, have Vikings week coming up here, so looking forward to that matchup, and we will talk with everyone next week in the Week 8 edition of TWITS.
Adios.